To join the channel here over at Subscribestar. So, alt-right ShoeOnHead, known for her Hugo Boss takes, versus what has turned out to be a globalist puppet Destiny regarding, they're covering a bunch of topics. I'm not exactly sure if the Maui thing, I think, set it off, but then they started going into a bunch of other, like JFK type of things. So the thing is, it is really cool to see a leftist like Shoe starting to awaken at least a little bit. And you know, if you're on the left, even if you're on the right, you gotta at this point you gotta know something else is seriously wrong, and there's something else going on, and it's not far right crazy conspiracy theories to admit that. It's like people are afraid to admit it. I think it's like finding out they have cancer or something. They just want to ignore it. It's like you can't. You just have to deal with it. So the longer this conversation goes on, the weirder it looks for this Destiny guy. So I thought I'd cover this, even if you don't know who these characters are, because it's a good example of how subverted the left has become, to where it seems like there's a lot of people on the left with social media footprints who are nothing more than globalist puppets who are guaranteed to parrot the party line, just these NPC talking points. And in some cases, with Twitter and other social media, there's a lot of them who are paid by the DNC. And then somebody does an investigation, they find out where their funding's coming from, and they see these Twitter personalities, and people just assume that they were, oh, these are just left wing people with a big social media following. No, I mean, yeah, they are. Probably they started with left wing people, but oh, they're getting paid 100 grand to be to push some talking points. Oh, that's weird. You're just a DNC consultant, huh? It's odd that you wouldn't put that on your Twitter bio, because you know people would rightfully look at a little bit of bias and go, there's, maybe I should take this with a grain of salt if you're being paid to say these things. Well, yes, obviously you should, because that's what an advertisement is. I mean, you got to label advertisements, at least on some social media platforms. Hopefully, Twitter will do that too. Anyway, so this Destiny guy, I'm not sure. I wish I could do thumbnails, but doing them on a phone and tablet's not quite. I can't quite get to this level. I'm not sure why this Destiny guy has such a big following, because a few times I've heard him. He was on Nick Fuentes on Rumble. I forget the name of the channel on Rumble. It's Fresh and Fit, which is a ridiculous named channel, but they have a huge Rumble live streaming presence, like over 10,000 people on these routinely on these live streams. So the thing is with him is he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's such a completely biased left wing shill that even people who are on board with him should be like, this should be getting obvious. Like, just because the person is saying what you want them to say, it doesn't mean it's trustworthy. If they're just repeating your talking points, you still got to ask for sources of bias and other like sources in general. Is what they're saying true, or is it just, oh no, you need to trust the media and government? It's like, wait a minute, you guys are on the left and you're saying that. So where ShoeOnHead is at least asking questions about the party line for the media and the government's take on Maui and a bunch of other things that have happened over the past few years. I don't know if Maui's yet a haram topic on YouTube, as the events over the past few years have become haram, or you're not allowed to go against the narrative. Gosh, that's weird. That's weird. I mean, I say the truth doesn't fear investigation. Always trust the government and media. Anyway, Destiny is essentially saying that the left wing position now is to seemingly blindly trust the government and media, and he considers anyone asking questions to be a crazy, vaguely right wing conspiracy theorist. But I don't think they ever call out left wing conspiracies. What was it, the Trump derangement syndrome and everything that went along with that? So this is basically the modern left wing. They also do this thing where they have herd mentality. They see where their masters want the narrative to go, and then they won't publicly disagree with it. But with a lot of these people, or at least some of these people, look at it and goes, it feels like they have a financial interest in saying some of the weird things they're saying. Because if they do start to think for themselves and go against the narrative a little bit, then their own side will give them these passive aggressive warnings on social media. I hate this stuff. It's the yikes, my guy, just yikes. Bad take, friendo. This is not a good look. Then if the person still won't back down, they'll attack their place on the Frankfurt School hierarchy instead of engaging with the argument. Of course you'd have this opinion. You're a privileged, cis, heteronormative person with a penis or whatever. Yeah, we used to call those men. They're terrified to engage in an argument without straw man deflection, ad hominem attack. So this Maui fire has a long string of, inconsistencies, red flags to it. That the problem with it is that it's all left wing issues. That is if it's explored, it would make the left wing look very bad because everyone involved with it and who the administration it's happened on under has been left wing people all the way down. So yeah, they're not gonna shine a light on that because everyone involved with this is a far left wing SJW, from the governor Josh Green to the unexperienced emergency services and the water people. And there's some of those interviews with these people up on YouTube where they're talking about their philosophy for this management of these resources, and they're insane. I mean, they're absolutely out of their freaking mind. It sounds as if they perhaps didn't get their position on merit, but that there was some other non-merit based factor going on. So this is going on under Biden, who has no comment when asked about it, and gave them $700 in relief, but literally gives foreign countries billions of your tax dollars. And nobody thinks that perhaps America should improve its infrastructure first before paying other countries billions of dollars. That there shouldn't be fires that are allowed to get this out of control, or the fire department having to wait hours to use water to fight a fire. That's insane. But California and Hawaii, they vote for this woke nonsense, and their states are falling apart, and they keep voting for the same craziness and expect things to get better. They're showing you how well the government runs your state, and a lot of it is at the federal level. FEMA and the emergency services are not going to be there to help you, but they still require your tax money. So where's the money really going? Oh, that's a great question. The left wants you to just move on from this fire as fast as possible. You got a left-wing county under the control of let's get down back here, under a control of a left-wing governor in a left-wing state under Biden, who either doesn't seem to know what he's doing, because if he doesn't have dementia, which is hard to say about a president. And remember, they wanted to do a cognitive fitness test for Trump, and you look at Biden and you're like, so what about this guy? You concerned about his mental acuity? No, he's fine. Are you sure about that? Are we listening to the same guy? Um, so if he doesn't have dementia, he's actually working to destroy the country, his handlers are. He's just such a friggin' weirdo, because like he doesn't seem to be saying things he believes, or at least he didn't believe. He was never this far left throughout his history. So what got me to do this video was seeing Shoe and Destiny argue back and forth, and Shoe's position is it's crazy to trust the government and media, not only because of what happened over the past 3 years, but what has happened, I don't know, throughout history with government and media. They have their own agenda, and it's not the truth. They come out and admit that they lied about past events, and liberals assume that means that they're done lying and that they'll be honest going forward. Well, that's also insane. Why exactly would they do that? The consequences for them are never serious. They lie all the time, but it's a far right Hugo Boss conspiracy theory to say that they lie. So Brittany Venny actually makes. She's been kind of she every once in a while she makes some really good takes, some really good points. I got to kind of re-examine. So she says alt media, cryptocurrencies, holistic stuff, cooking at home, and kind of the trad wife, trad life. A lot of this stuff is regaining popularity because we live in a low trust society. That is just says it really perfectly. That's what a lot of people are experiencing, is life in a future America that is low trust, when you can't trust the media, the government, the institutions, for the simple reason they're not trustworthy. It's not tinfoil hat Alex Jones atrazine in the water to say that. To look at institutions with a history of lying or failure to respond. I mean, even under Bush with Katrina, was that Texas? That was a failure of FEMA. That was at the federal level, but maybe the state level also fell down. Where you had what was that? That sporting arena where they put people, and it's like that turned into the warlords, like cannibal warlords, and that was like, oh yeah, that's how the government takes care of you. Like, well, I mean, obviously you should try to take care of yourself, but it's like you're paying taxes for a state response to emergencies and for a federal response, and then you see how they screw it up. It's kind of makes you like there's another kind of thing going on where a lot of this stuff they're saying, are they making sure that they push casualties and make things worse so they can get a body count up, so they can keep pushing this narrative of climate change. And that's interesting because the responses to these emergencies are incompetence. And it's like it seems to be, oh hey, it's a fire, some arson, and you go some fire around the world, and it's arson, right? And they go, oh no, it's climate change. And then the truth comes out. It's like, oh, here's drone footage of the guy doing the arson. Oh well, it'll be climate change next time. You mean your arsonist won't get caught next time? Is that what you're saying? And then he comes out with this weird shilling tweet where the more I look at this guy's tweets, I think you got to be getting paid. Something's not adding up here, because he's mad at people undermining trust in institutions that are needed for society to function. It's already gone. There is no trust in institutions because of too many recent events and throughout the history of this country and other countries in general. Things don't last forever. Sometimes things do need to be uh, reformatted at a fundamental level when they've gotten so far off track from what their founding dogma was. You can't just, oh, we need to trust institutions. Oh, even the ones that lie? Yeah, that's fine. That's insane. That's insane. But the other interesting thing is he is he's saying all this stuff, and at some point even the followers of him have got to know this is weird. Like there's the raging for the machine shilling that you see among the left lately, because now they control the institutions. But this, where he's going back and forth, he's saying things that are not in accord with reality. They talking about events, and he's making claims about how secure those events were. You don't know that. Nobody knows that, and there's plenty of evidence concerning that issue. And like, don't you think it's weird that social media won't let you talk about these things without getting a strike or getting kicked off? There's a lot of weird things. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next episode.